Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Shaw here, coming at you on Ugly Sweater Day. You know, I make Ugly Sweater Day look good, and you're welcome. Anyway, guys, welcome back. We are doing Unit 5 today, starting Unit 5 anyway, and we're going to be talking about the presidency and the executive branch more specifically. In this video, I'm going to be covering the qualifications, terms, the Electoral College, and the roles of the president. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, so starting off with the qualifications, there's 3 qualifications, and these are going to be on the next 3 slides. All right, so the first qualification is citizenship. Okay, you have to be a natural-born citizen. Now, for any other thing that we've talked about, like the Senate or the House, you don't actually have to be a natural-born citizen. You can be a naturalized citizen, meaning you were born in another country, or to foreign parents, and then you went through the naturalization process and became a citizen. Like again, for the House, you have to be a citizen for 7 years. In the Senate, you have to be a citizen for 9 years. But again, in order to become the president, you have to be a natural-born citizen. But that also does include American parents. Again, if you have American parents and you're born abroad, okay, that also means that you have your citizenship and you're a natural-born citizen of the United States. So, again, that's the first qualification. Second qualification is that you have to have attained the age of 35 years. Hey, guys, I'm 35 years old. I could be president right now. Now, again, there has not ever been a president under the age of 41, but theoretically, I could do it. Again, fun fact, you don't need to write the fun fact. John F. Kennedy was the youngest president to ever get elected at the age of 42, but Teddy Roosevelt became president at 41. And again, he took over for the previous president after they were assassinated. That was William McKinley. And so Teddy Roosevelt was not the youngest elected, but he was the youngest to ever actually hold the office. Okay, third qualification. You have to be a 14-year resident of the United States. Okay. Again, you don't need to write the what if. That's just the last qualification. You have to live in the United States for at least 14 years. We don't really know as much about this part as we'd like. For example, if you moved to Canada for 10 years, you'd lived here your whole life, and then moved to Canada for 10 years, and then moved back, and then ran immediately for the presidency, would that work? Theoretically speaking, yes. Again, all you really have to do is you have to have lived in the United States for 14 years, and of course, meet the other 2 qualifications. Okay, so that's it. Natural-born citizen. Okay, you have to be at least 35 years old and a 14-year resident of the United States. I'm good to go. Time to Shaw 2024. Let's go. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about the terms of office, and it's really easy here. The only thing I need you to write for this is that it is 4 years. You do not need to write the other things over here. If you'd like, if you want to write this one, I'd say probably these 2 are the most important ones to write. Again, it's 4-year terms, and that's in the Constitution. But usually there's only 2. Usually presidents have only served 2 terms, meaning 8 years total. And that was because George Washington started that tradition, and every other president just kind of followed it. Until, and again, this is what we see over here with Franklin Roosevelt, he sought and won a 3rd and 4th term in 1940 and 1944, and he was the only president to serve more than 2 terms in office. So anyway, after FDR, Congress passed the 22nd Amendment, and that was ratified by the states in 1951, which limited the president to a maximum of 2 terms. Okay, so again, that's really, and it's kind of controversial, to be honest with you, and I'll get into that in the next slide, which you also do not need to write. You guys know the 22nd Amendment, as I just said, limits them to 2 terms, a maximum of 10 years, and a lot of people really think that this is not very undemocratic. So theoretically, if the president was doing a really good job, but they had already served 2 terms, even if a majority of people wanted them to continue in that role, they would be unable to because of the 22nd Amendment. And so a lot of people, including past presidents, again, they say that it's an undemocratic amendment and it should be repealed. But again, a lot of people also think that the 22nd Amendment is necessary in order to try to prevent, kind of a monarchy or a dictatorship, or any sort of tyrannical ruler from kind of taking over. Okay, let's get into the Electoral College. Again, the Electoral College is the official way that the president and vice president are elected. Again, the president and VP are not directly elected by the citizens. Instead, the citizens vote for president, and then the electors from these states, from each state, is going to go through a process called the Electoral College, and they are going to formally select the president. Again, this is coming directly from the Constitution. This was a compromise between a popular vote by citizens and a vote in Congress. Again, the founding fathers were really hesitant to give this much power to the people. They were really worried that the people might vote for somebody like Kanye West or something like that, or Kim Kardashian. Kanye, Kim, if you guys are watching, I'm really sorry. I don't know that you guys would do a great job as being president. By the way, if Kim and Kanye, if you are watching, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Okay, really helps the channel out a lot. And I really appreciate it ahead of time. And that goes for all of you regular people too. Anyway, moving on. So that's the Electoral College. Okay, we're going to kind of talk about the electors here first. Again, each state gets as many electors as it has members of Congress. So again, how you figure that out is you take your number of House of Representatives or members and the number of senators. Again, everybody has 2, and then you add those together. So, for example, Missouri has 10 electoral votes right now because we have 8 representatives. I don't know why I just held that up. 8 representatives plus 2 senators to get that 10 number. Again, and then each state's political parties, and usually it's in the legislature, like whichever party has the majority in the state legislature, will choose their own electors for the Electoral College. Okay, so how does it actually work? Again, what you're going to do is you yourself, when you guys turn 18, are going to go and you're going to cast your ballot for president. So then that's going to go to a statewide tally. So in 48 states, the winner of that vote, that popular vote, gets all of the Electoral College votes for that state. So, for example, like in the 2020 election, then President Trump won Missouri, and so Missouri, then all of Missouri's 10 electoral votes went to President Trump. Okay, whereas in California they had 55 electoral votes at that time. I think actually Missouri might have had. No, Missouri had 10. So California had 55 electoral votes, and President Biden won that. Or again, he wasn't president yet, but soon-to-be President Biden won California. So all of California's votes went to President Biden. That's called a winner-take-all system. Okay, there's only 2 states that don't participate, and that's Maine and Nebraska, and they will split their votes. Again, we'll talk about that more in class, but regardless, you just need to know that most states participate in the winner-take-all system. And so whatever candidate wants to win, they need at least 270 electors, which is just a little over half of all of the electors in order to win the presidential election. Again, that's just the way we got 270 is you just divide 538 divided by 2. And again, 270 is a majority of electoral votes. Again, they're going to announce the projected winner usually on election night. But again, what we've been seeing recently is that elections are so close to call that it's like you really can't announce the winner on election night. Sometimes you can project it, but again, you have to count all the votes, and it's a whole big mess. But again, you want to make sure that that you get all the votes and counted before you're projecting who the winner is going to be, just in case any changes might take place or whatever happens. So again, the actual Electoral College vote takes place in mid-December. And that's when the electors meet in their states and they actually will formally cast their ballots. The Constitution does not require electors to follow their state's popular vote, but it's rare for one not to. And actually, this is actually not true. This is it has been updated just recently that the Supreme Court has decided that states have to follow their citizens, their citizens' votes in the Electoral College. So again, now electors can't just that's called a faithless elector. Again, and now they can't do that anymore. They have to vote along with how their people voted. All right, so I ran out of time while I was in my my ugly Christmas sweater, so I apologize. Now it's just normal me, but you're welcome. All right, so let's go over some special situations. There are a couple things with the Electoral College you need to know about. So the first thing is that you can actually win the popular vote, but lose the actual election. Okay, so it is, and it's possible. It's actually happened twice in the last 20 some odd years. Again, it happened in 2016, it happened in 2000, and then it happened 3 times in the 1800s. So again, that was that in 2016. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by like 3 million votes or something like that, but President Trump or Donald Trump became president because he had a majority in the Electoral College. And again, we'll go over that more in class, like I said, but it's just the way that the Electoral College system is set up. It does allow for that to happen. So the other situation is when no candidate wins the majority of electoral votes. So when this happens, the vote is going to go to the House of Representatives. So this is from the 12th Amendment. And again, the House members are going to choose the new president from among the top 3 candidates. And really just every state is supposedly just gets 1 vote. The Senate would elect the vice president from the remaining top 2 candidates. But again, since the president and vice president run together, they're probably just going to pick the vice president that was running with the president because that could create some issues. This has only happened one time, and it was in 1824, and the House of Representatives elected John Quincy Adams as president. Okay, so again, you don't really need to know that. I would definitely know the 12th Amendment, and I would know that as one of the problems, theoretically, of the Electoral College is that you can win the popular vote but actually lose the election. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up here. Again, guys, I'm not super worried about you getting actually, this slide is fine. The next slide, I don't think you need to really get down. But Inauguration Day, inauguration just means, again, it's the start of the term for the president, okay? And so the president-elect and the vice president-elect are going to be sworn in and take office on Election Day, and that takes place every 4 years on January 20th. And it happens at the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. And again, it's January 20th because of the 20th Amendment, and that basically moved up the time when presidents would be taking office from March 20th to January 20th. And right around noon, the president-elect recites the following oath in accordance with Article 2, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution. Again, as long as you know that he takes an oath, that's fine, because I'm not going to have you guys write this next part down. But this is what they say. They say, "I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States." And again, that's just like a smaller portion of the whole thing. But again, that is the oath that they take when they take office. Okay, guys, I think that's all I have for you. Next up, we're going to talk about the roles of the presidency. But I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one.